Hello and welcome to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. Great to have you here. Today we're going to take a look at this, a Citizen Eco Drive. Of course, if you followed the channel for a while, you know I'm a bit of a Citizen Eco Drive fanboy. Now I got this watch a while back and it has appeared in a few other videos. I've been wearing it and I thought it's about time I did the review. So this is the Citizen BM8560-11X. Yes, because they roll off the tongue, those serial numbers. I have seen it described as the Citizen Garrison watch. I don't know where that comes from, but I think that's what it's listed on Amazon in the US. Now, it's a field style watch. Now, there's a couple in this range. There is this green one, and I particularly wanted a green one, which comes on this leather strap. We've also got a white, a blue, and a black, and they're all braceleted versions. So this one's the only one that came on a leather strap, which is one I wanted it, why I wanted it even. It's an Eco Drive, it's the E101 module, so 6 months worth of stored charge once it's fully charged. 2-year warranty, actually it might be a 5-year warranty on that, I'll have to check that. I got it from Amazon, it's about £180. So it's a great watch, I'm really pleased with it. I did have one slight issue with it, but one of our subscribers, Andy, might have come up with a little bit of a tip to make that a bit easier. So let's take a look at what we get. Now with this watch, I do get a few little differences in the dimensions that are on the listing on Amazon. So this is classed as a 41mm watch on Amazon. However, I measure it, I get it more to 42mm. So I'm going to stick with the 42mm that I've measured it with. Something else that's different is strap width. They state 21mm, but I get it at 22mm. Which is also confirmed with the strap on the back saying Citizen 22. Lug to lug, I get a 48.5mm, so quite a large watch. Might be just on the border for some people that have got smaller wrists of whether they can wear it or not. Now, the lugs on this watch do drop down somewhat, so that does help the watch sit a little bit better. Thickness is 10mm. Now, I wear this most of the time with a double pass NATO, which pushes it out to 12mm. So just bear that in mind if you're going to put this onto a NATO. Now weight wise, I don't know if I mentioned this in the opening, it's a titanium body, so it's only 53 grams, so it is super light. And of that 53, I wonder how much is the strap actually. I could weigh that because the strap is quite thick. So super light, nice and compact, easily fits on my 8-inch wrist. But some people might find it just on the borderline if you've got that slightly slimmer wrist. Now, build of the watch, as I stated before, it's a titanium body, so you get that lovely sort of matte titanium finish all the way around the watch, bar the very top edge of the bezel, which is polished, which frames that dial lovely. Really nice. Matte crown, as you can see, not signed. I don't think I found a Citizen one that's been signed yet. I think the Pro Masters might be. And then onto the back, again, just that lovely matte titanium. I think that really adds to the look of the watch as well, given that sort of helps with that sort of vintage style a little bit. As I say, sapphire glass as well, with a bit of AR coating on there. It's really nicely built. You're not going to have to worry about the build quality on this watch. So dial-wise, field style watch. Triangle at the 12, Arabics around the rest of the dial except for the 3, 6 and 9, which are elongated. Rectangles, they're done in this lovely sort of faded cream yellow colour, give it that vintage look. It looks $1 million. The dial is this rich green which contrasts nicely against those Arabics. Minute markers all the way round, and then every 10 minutes those are marked out in orange rather than white. Citizen above the pinion, Eco Drive titanium below the pinion. A lovely day date. Now it's black on this model. I think it is different colours on the other models. I think the white one's white and the other two might still be black actually, thinking about it. I do like the day date. That's framed in this silver white frame. Now that colour is transformed onto the hands as well, so we've got a needle seconds hand and then these large pointing sword style hour and minute hands filled with loom on all that in this beautiful polished titanium picture frame around the outside edge. It looks fantastic. I really do like the look of this watch. I've been asked about this watch when I've worn it. 100 meters of water resistance as well, which actually doesn't state it on the dial, thinking about it. Now, lume wise, I was pleasantly surprised with this. I didn't think it was going to do particularly well, but it does pass my 3 AM test. I'll put a picture of just up in the corner. It's not as bright as some of the other Citizens that I've got, which tend to be BGW9 rather than this style of lume. But it does really well, and it looks great. Again, it adds to that vintage look with the way that the lume shows up as well. But yeah, passed my 3 AM test, so I must admit I was really pleased with that. So case back wise, as I pointed out before, it's just this matte titanium finish, screw on case back. Slightly different. Normally Citizen Eco Dries have the sort of emblem in the middle, but this one doesn't. And the writing on it's particularly small. I hope you can pick that up on the camera. We've sort of got Citizen, water resistance 10 bar, Duratec, I'm not quite sure what that is, Japan movement, sapphire, base titanium, Eco Drive. But as I say, no emblem in the middle, which is a little bit unusual. It's pretty plain, pretty straightforward. I suppose it serves its purpose well. One of the reasons I went for this particular colour was I really liked the way that the green dial went with the leather strap. But it turned out that the leather strap was the part that I had an issue with this watch. It's a really thick leather strap, as you can see, which tapers down nicely to the buckle here, which is matte. I don't know if it's titanium, but it's designed to fit in with the watch. I thought it looked really nice. But it was really stiff when it came out of the box. And I had some real issues wearing it, where it would just sit on my wrist really proud because the strap wouldn't bend at all. It has worn in a bit, and so I ended up putting it onto this green NATO strap, which I will show you both at the end on wrist. Now, on the unboxing video, Andy reached out and said that he'd had a similar issue with another Citizen watch, and his wife works for Eco, which are a global shoe company, and he uses their Eco leather lotion on the strap to soften it up. So I'll put the comment up on the screen, but if you have a look on the unboxing video, which I will link in the corner, you'll find the comment down there from Andy. So Andy, thanks for that. I've not put any lotion on this yet. I think I've located what you're after. I did try to find it on Amazon, but I couldn't find it on Amazon. So I'm going to get a bottle of that in and treat that and see if it makes a bit of difference. But the strap's really nice. It is really thick. It's a really good quality, sealed along the edge. As I say, fits in with the watch, lovely. But it was particularly stiff. I think Andy described his on his other Citizen as iron. I don't think it was quite that bad, but yeah. So the strap's really nice, but it will be a stiff one. So if you buy it on the leather, just bear that in mind. You might need to wear it in for quite a while to get it to go a bit more supple. So here it is on wrist, and I think it looks fantastic. It looks like that vintage style watch, but with a modern twist, it being in titanium. And I think it's a really good looking watch. I've had people ask me about it when I've been wearing it. One thing I've got to say about the leather strap is I'm on the last hole with my 8-inch wrist, so it's not a very long strap. Citizen always seem to do slightly longer bracelets than they do other types of strap for some reason. Now, as I say, I tend to wear this on the green NATO, so I'm going to swap it onto there as well so you can see what it looks like with that. So here it is on the NATO. Nice green NATO with a darker stripe down the middle. I got this NATO from the Thrifty Gentleman. I'll put a link to that in the description. I always get my NATOs from those guys. And it just adds a different look to the watch. A bit more green, obviously, so if you're wearing a green t-shirt, it looks fantastic. But you can get away with either, to be quite honest. I think it looks $1 million. I love this watch. It's not going out of my collection anytime soon. It's a little bit different as well, it having that slightly vintage look to it. I'm really pleased with it. I'll put all links to the watches mentioned in the description. Now, if that's not your type of watch, but you still like titanium, this is another Citizen titanium watch I did a review of recently. I'll put a link to that in the corner. Thanks to everybody that's liked, subscribed and commented. Thanks to Andy for the tip with the leather strap. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.